there's a 5-hour gap, but they never got back at 2 o'clock. We know this now. But still, where were they? Here you go.
Surrounding a nearly 5-hour window from 9 p.m. to 1:45 a.m., Ethan Chapin and Xana Kernodle were believed to be at the Sigma Chi fraternity house.
I'm Alex. I'm a reporter with News Nation.
I went to the fraternities and the sororities to find out what they remember.
Just that night, were you here? Was there a party going on or anything? The police have this huge window where they're trying to figure out what happened.
The chapter president says he's turned over all information to the police and to the FBI, saying there's nothing they...
Okay, that is really weird. But that's something I always remember. Well, why didn't Peter come forward right away? Like, what time did he see them? I mean, well, this is what Peter has to say, okay? There were 2 interviews. And here are the highlights, because the timeline is very, very important. To this day, I don't think we really know. They don't really know when Ethan and Xana got back. And his story is a little bit different as well. And I do highlight that. So let's listen to what Peter has to say. The first interview and then the second one.
You may be one of the people who was with Xana and Ethan in the early morning hours of November 13th, 2022, and see if he's willing to talk.
Hello?
Hello, this is Detective Lehman with the Idaho State Police. Is this...
Yes.
Has said that you may be one of the people who was with Xana and Ethan in the early hours. I'll just let you speak for a moment. Tell me about that.
Okay, yeah, I was with him. We were at the Sigma Chi party.
Okay.
It ended at 1 o'clock, and we went back down to my...
Okay.
And went down there to grab a couple things. And then we went back into the lodge, and Xana and Ethan were in the lodge with my girlfriend and I. And that's the last time I saw them. They said they were going to come with us, but nobody remembers them coming with us there. I've asked all of because we went to AGR, another fraternity right there, neighboring to us. And I asked them, and they don't remember them being there. So I'm pretty positive they weren't there.
They were not at AGI, and that is
AGR.
AGR.
Yeah.
Alpha Gamma Rho.
Yeah.
Okay, and that is that considered the lodge?
No, the lodge is at Sigma Chi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what is your apartment number? And what is your girlfriend's name? Can you describe what Ethan and Xana were wearing the last you saw them?
Oh shoot, I don't remember what they were wearing. I know Ethan and I were at Kappa Alpha Theta's formal. Ethan went to that, and he might have been in his nice clothes still, but I honestly can't remember.
So there was a formal before the Sigma Chi party?
Yeah, for a sorority house. The one that Ethan...
Sorority, was that a formal party? Or
No, it wasn't a formal.
Did it have a theme at all?
The theme was like ESPN, so it's like a sports theme, like jerseys, that type of thing.
Okay. Do you remember them having any kind of sports apparel?
I really don't.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
And just to kind of maybe jog your memory, do you remember taking any photos with them that night?
I looked on my camera roll and Snapchat memories, and I don't have anything from after the formal party where Ethan and I were in nice clothes.
Okay. So there's the previous party that you do have a pic of Ethan?
Yeah.
if I were to describe to me as a very good friend of Ethan's, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. The last time you were over at the 1122 King Street address?
I was there Friday.
Okay. Tell me about that.
It was fine, just normal. We were in an apartment playing Pong.
Okay.
And I was there for 15, 20 minutes. And then I went over to the White's apartments to hang out with my friends over there.
Okay.
I wasn't there for very long on Friday, but I was there for a number, like some minutes.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to have you to the 13th, early in the morning. When do you think was the last time that you saw Ethan and Xana?
Ethan and Xana, in the lodge, I'm almost positive all their things. And the lodge is the last place I saw them, around 120, 125.
Okay. Did they say where they were going to?
They didn't.
Okay.
No.
And they were.
I was just assuming. Sorry to interrupt. I was just assuming that they were going to go back to their place, which I'm guessing that's what they did.
Okay. And just to clarify, that would have been walking on foot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's pretty close right there. It's, I don't know, a 3-minute walk.
Okay. What, do you recall the things that they were packing up?
Yeah. They had a couple of beers, and Ethan may have grabbed his formal coat. And I think that's it. I'm pretty sure that's it.
Okay.
If there was anything else I didn't see.
Okay. What color was the formal coat that he?
Black.
Okay. Go ahead, Kristen. If I didn't tell you, I'm here with Trooper Kristen Noah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Did they have a backpack, or did Xana have a purse that they were putting these items into?
I think that Xana had a bag, but I'm not 100% positive.
Okay.
Okay.
Would you know what that was?
I don't.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
In college, we kind of go through backpacks really quickly.
Sure.
You tend to lose them or they break. I don't know what type of bag or anything about what it looked like.
Okay, so those were the highlights. All right. He's a really good friend of Ethan's, and he was the last person to see Xana and Ethan alive. Now, this is a little bit different than the second interview. The second interview is with Detective Joe Lake. So we're going to now listen to that because something's a little bit different. The time's about the same. Between 1:20 to 1:25 a.m. was the last time that Peter saw Xana and Ethan. But in this first interview, they were supposed to go with him to this neighboring fraternity, AGR. It's agriculture. Okay, this is what he says. And he's going to add something else, which is really important. And then we're going to look at the cell phone records, the timeline a little bit better, which was actually in Broken Plea from Christopher Whitcomb. Because something weird happened. I don't know what, but something's wrong with this picture, because why would nobody know in the beginning where's Xana, where's Ethan? There's a 5-hour gap. So if Peter knew where they were, why didn't he say something? And everything was just really confusing to me. All right, so let's look at that now, or listen to it.
It was really hard to date Xana, which that might be irrelevant right now, but the reason he said was because she was really also had a super bubbly personality, which was really attractive. And guys flocked to her, even though she had a boyfriend. And being Xana, she wouldn't entertain it, but just the attention she got from it would get Ethan jealous.
Okay.
But I don't. Yeah.
No, that's important to know.
Yeah.
I mean, by all accounts, they had a great relationship.
Yeah.
And I can see that she's fun and gregarious like he is.
Yeah.
So it'd be safe to say that other admirers, but she never allowed those to.
Yeah. Exactly.
Any of those jump to the front of the page for you?
No, she wouldn't. Yeah, none. Because people kind of knew, oh, you don't mess with Ethan because he was a huge dude. You don't want to mess with him. Yeah.
Okay.
He's like 6'4". Big old dude.
So it'd be others, but yeah, with them.
Yeah.
Okay.
She never. Yeah.
Never acted on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind
Any recent positive or negative changes? He was always happy.
Yeah, I can't. Nothing. Literally nothing.
Okay. Significant events prior to his death? Have none.
Yeah.
You and Xana still getting along well?
Just what I told you.
Yeah.
That's it.
Was there any one person more so than another that he would be jealous of?
No.
That maybe was showing,
Yeah. No.
attention towards Xana.
She wouldn't let that happen either. She wouldn't, like, if somebody was starting to get touchy-feely with her, she would back off, like, get away from me type of deal. But yeah, no, he never said anything to me about being more uncomfortable with one dude towards her than another guy. Like,
Okay.
and that was the first time the night they got killed, that night was the first time that he had mentioned to me that it was hard dating her. So.
When did he mention that?
When we were at the formal. We went to the formal for Kappa Alpha Theta that night. He went with his sister, me and I went with another gal.
How did you take his comment towards you? I mean, you know him really well. Kind of how he was projecting that comment. How did you take it?
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I grabbed him aside, took him outside, and I was like, okay, let's go have a beer and talk about it. And we went and talked about it. He kind of just elaborated on it. Because at first he said, it's hard dating Xana. I was like, what do you mean? And then we kind of went outside and talked about it, and he told me about how, like, she is always, like surrounded by dudes because of her personality, and I guess he was a jealous individual, which I didn't catch that. But yeah, we were outside for a short time, and then we went back inside.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he didn't say one person or another. Okay.
No.
Pardon me. Other than that, sounds like things were normal.
Yeah.
Risky behaviors. Drinking that night and had played Xbox too before.
Mm-hmm.
What about poly use? And what poly use is like combining, whether it be a prescribed medication with alcohol or maybe an illicit narcotic or something like that with alcohol. Were they into that at all?
No, he took he might have taken an Adderall that night.
Why do you think that?
He said he would take Adderall because he needed energy.
Does he normally take Adderall?
Not every time he drinks, but I mean, it's a good. He takes it a good amount.
He takes them for energy.
Yeah.
Is he prescribed those?
No.
Where's he getting them from?
Anyone, people, I don't even know, honestly. People
Okay.
that he texts people, I don't
Okay.
even know.
So even though it's a prescription med, there's kind of this way to get them.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, but it wasn't
I'm not even
prescribed
sure
to
who
him.
it was. No, he doesn't have a prescription.
Okay.
I don't even know if he has a prescription for anything, honestly. I don't
Okay.
think he does.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. I'm almost positive he doesn't have a prescription for that.
Okay.
Up until about 1:20 that night
Okay. Where were you guys at?
at the Sigma Chi. And then I think they went back to their house. I'm not sure. Because I left. I left Sigma Chi and went to AGR, and they didn't come with me.
Okay. AGR?
Yeah. Was there our neighbor fraternity?
Why didn't they go?
Because their house is more like an agricultural type fraternity, and I have a lot of friends in there. A lot of them are, so I get along with them pretty well. And Ethan really wasn't, and Xana wasn't either, so they kind of really didn't fit into that environment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. They have good parties at AGR?
It's not necessarily good parties. They just like hanging out with the dudes, listening to country music with them. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good time.
Yeah.
Good time.
Okay, that's what I included because that's what I really feel is very relevant with Xana and Ethan. Again, it's just weird. Okay, see, there's a huge difference with Peter going to the neighboring fraternity, AGR, agriculture, but Xana and Ethan, they weren't into that. They wouldn't fit in. They wouldn't fit in. But now the first interview, which was only a few days after the quadruple homicide, he said they were going to go over to AGR with him and his girlfriend. He doesn't mention his girlfriend. Something else. He mentions, okay, I don't know. And I've listened to this so many times. All right, I'm not even going to lie. You know, like we went outside. And usually it just sounds confrontational. I'm not even going to lie. Like, basically, I took him outside. I mean, was it a fight? Because there was a rumor Ethan was in a fight. I don't know. Now, he talks really fast and everything, but if you slow it down, I mean, and really listen to it, he said, you know, Ethan said to him that night that it's hard dating Xana because she has this really bubbly personality. You know, all these guys are into her, something like that. Forget his exact words. I probably have them written down here in my notes, actually. So, what I have. All right. I was with Xana and Ethan until 1:20 that night. It's hard dating Xana. But again, there's that 5-hour gap from 9 p.m. to 1:45 a.m. But again, we know they're not back at 2:10 a.m. because we know this is when Dylan is texting Eric, the Uber driver, see if he's still driving because she was hungry. So they're not back at that time. And it is weird. So I'm not saying it had anything to do with it, but what does he know? Does he know something more? I don't know. But I noticed this too. When Detective Joe says about poly use, he doesn't say anything about Xana. Were they into that at all? Well, he doesn't include Xana. Ethan took an Adderall that night. He did not say anything about Xana, like it said. He doesn't have a prescription. I don't think he has a prescription for anything, is what he says. So I think it's weird. I really do. And I don't know, just the way he talks about Xana, it's almost like, and if you listen a little bit more to this interview, he's like, well, me and Xana, like, they had gone out before. I don't know if it was just to a formal or something like that, but he's like, well, yeah, we're adults. We put that behind us. Xana and I were still really good friends. It's just really weird. And she just had this really bubbly personality, and it really sounds like he has this crush on her. Now, if you read Broken Plea or if you heard about this, something that was weird, and we would not know this because they didn't include this in the police documents that were released. Ethan receives 2 text messages, Saturday in the afternoon and then in the early morning hours. You're being cheated on. And I'm going to pull those up because I think they're really relevant. Something is really weird because it doesn't even seem like Xana is with Ethan. No. Something is really off with the timeline, and nobody to this day, even Christopher Whitcomb, Broken Plea, from what I'm reading, nobody knows when they got back. All right, so yeah, I think it's all relevant. I do, because we really don't know what happened. We have somebody who takes a plea agreement. We have experts that are stating that no, there had to be multiple perpetrators. We have the medical examiner said that there's a single-edged weapon used and a double-edged knife, like a dagger. They never checked to see, does Brian own anything like that, Brian Koberger? And a single edge does not necessarily mean a K-bar. That's in the autopsies. And yes, these were brutal. And we know that there's diluted blood. Somebody cleaned up in there. They went through Brian's car. There's no blood, nothing. It's just weird. And there were other male DNA left in that house. But they never pursued obtaining a profile of who these people really are, except for one, just the one that comes back to Brian Koberger. Yeah, it's strange. Okay, so now let's look at just a few of these pages that were included in Broken Plea, Christopher Whitcomb. And this is like the cell phone records. Digital evidence is what I'm about, because I'm not saying that anybody purposely lied, but these college kids are drinking and they get confused. Maybe they thought they saw Xana and Ethan. Maybe they did, but their time is off. All right, so let's take a look at these. This is a really nice picture of Xana and Ethan. Now, I don't know when this image was taken. Doesn't state that. I guess they like the Pittsburgh Steelers, though. And, you know, you would think Peter would have known if they were wearing a jersey. But it's weird he doesn't remember. You know, I mean, I think if there's one thing I've seen Xana wearing a lot, she really liked the Pittsburgh Steelers, and she wore that jersey. And if it was a sports thing, ESPN, I think he said in his first interview, yeah. That's a really good photo, by the way. It's heartbreaking, it really is. Also, I noticed in this photo, I don't know if that's a White Claw. I think that's what they were drinking that night. Maybe they drink that a lot. I don't know. Ethan always had a cell phone, Peter states. Well, there's the cell phone there. And Xana has hers. I don't know. People can cause problems for couples. And I don't know. Maybe Peter was jealous of Ethan and Xana's love. I don't know. Something weird with this time. And I don't know what happened. None of us do. That's why people are still discussing this case. But nevertheless, I still think it's important. All right, so this is who was Ethan's good friend, Peter, the last one to see Xana and Ethan alive. And that's usually quite major. He looks quite different from that image and the first image. So I don't know how long ago that was. But I would think this one is more up to date. Like he looks so young there. But the interview was November 18th, 2022. All right, so November 12th, 2443. Now, this may have been an issue with how the book was printed. There's no time of 2443. It's a military time, and 2300 is 11 p.m. And then when you get to so-called, there is no 2400 hours. It would just change into 0003. That's 12:03 a.m. But since it's November 12th, 2022, this probably was just an error that happened. So it's probably 11:43 at night. Ethan texts, yeah, when responding to Hunter Johnson, asking if he's still at Sigma Chi. And that's actually coming from Ethan's cell phone. Now, of course, we have Bethany, 12:03, 12:04. Dylan takes photo. All right, but what's important here, Xana calls Ethan. This is unanswered at 12:16. And that is 12:16 a.m. on November 13th. That's Ethan's cell. And Ethan misses a call from Little Noodle, Xana. Why, first of all, why is she calling Ethan if she's supposed to be with Ethan? All right, now, were they at Peter's apartment? I don't know. No, see, they just don't ask these questions. Shouldn't they have their cell phone records right in front of them? But no, they don't. And I don't know if there's a third interview, but this is all we know. But there were 2 interviews for Peter. But yeah, this would be a question I want to know. Seriously. Well, why is Xana calling Ethan? Where's Ethan? Are they not together? It's not that they're accusing Peter if they would ask him that, but I don't know. They just don't ask these questions. All right, now, and then at 12:17, which Bethany sees Ethan and Xana in Peter's apartment before leaving. But that's Bethany's interview. And she might be mistaken from another night because you get used to seeing people together and it's easy to get confused. She said something about she went into the apartment and grabbed her book bag and then she left. And Xana and Ethan, they were sitting on the couch listening to music. But there's no evidence of that. But a minute prior, right, 12:16, Xana is calling Ethan And if she's sitting next to him, why are you calling him? And it's unanswered. So that doesn't make any sense. Oh, you can say, oh, was it a butt dial? Really? No, because it's going to happen again. Now, at 12:20, it's just four minutes after Xana attempts to call Ethan, and it goes unanswered. And that's Ethan's cell phone. Missed call from the little noodle. Then at 12:20 on November 13th, text from Xana to Pistol Pete, you good? And that's coming from Xana's cell phone. That's weird. I thought he's supposed to be with Xana, This is really strange. Now, maybe she's not at Pete's apartment. Maybe she's not with Ethan, and she's just at some other friends because they all live relatively close. But why wouldn't you just state that? Xana was here and there hanging out with friends, and no, I mean, this is huge. It's not just like one time either that a call goes unanswered. And then she's text from Xana to Pistol Pete, you good? So either that, or is Pete with Ethan and he doesn't want law enforcement to know? Why not? But I don't know. But my point, I don't care what they're doing. I just like to know, why are they not together? It doesn't seem Xana is with Ethan. Yes. Okay, now they also include, obviously, well, Christopher Whitcomb includes this in his book, Broken Plea. Kaylee, she's at the corner. But Ethan receives notification from Erica, 12:43. You're getting cheated on, work product. We never would have known that. But it's in Broken Plea. That's weird. And Ethan is a jealous person. Peter didn't seem to know that he was a jealous type of person until that night. But actually, when he confronts him, it doesn't happen at Sigma Chi. Well, Peter states it doesn't happen there. It happens at the other, the sorority, the formal, at Ethan's sister's. Now, Xana is not there as far as I know. She didn't go. But who would be sending this out at 12:43? At 1:16 a.m., Xana calls Ethan, not answered. And that's from Xana's cell phone. So they looked at Xana's cell phone, and at 12:16, that was Ethan's cell phone. Two different cell phones. So, yeah, it's not like it's the same call. It's not a mistake. One came from Xana's cell, and this is the last one at 1:16 a.m. And then 12:16 was from Ethan's cell. And I do think this was very helpful. Okay, here's the one from 12:16 a.m. So I'm sorry, I don't feel they're together. No, doesn't seem, something's off with this. Absolutely. So what is going on? And again, just Bethany's interview, she gets things wrong, and I don't believe anything that Dylan says or Bethany. They also relied on what they stated about the time that Xana and Ethan got back to 1122 King Road house. All right. So that's why they said around 1:45, 2 o'clock, they were back. No, they weren't back then. They're not back at 2:10. But there's something weird going on, and I just thought this was important to include, no matter what. I'm not saying he had anything to do with this, but again, something could have happened that when Peter's not around, we don't know. Was there a fight that Ethan got into with somebody else? We don't know. The people hear all kinds of screaming. So I just had to share that. All right, tell me what you think, and we'll continue with this. But I do think this was a very important interview. It's the last person that saw Xana and Ethan alive. And going back, knowing that there's a 5-hour gap, and when did he come forward to tell anybody? I mean, just in his interview, but why would they not know that? Why didn't Sigma Chi, find that out immediately? That, oh, by the way, they were over here till 1 o'clock. The party at Sigma Chi was just until 1 o'clock in the morning. And they were hanging out with Pistol Pete.